Today I'm going to show you how I created the background for these cards from this. It's time for Masterboard Monday. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Arlissa Designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome! I gathered my supplies for today's project already, and I'll tell you why I chose this in a little bit, but I have this tissue paper from Amazon, and I'll link it in the description below. I love it. And then I picked out some colors that I think would be good. So this green is a little bright for this. I'm trying to turn it over, but I think with the brown and mixing, it'll kind of darken up a little bit. And this also, this brushed metal dark gray, because there's a little bit of gray in this tissue paper. And what I'm going to do with these today is create the masterboard, and then I just recently learned about ACEOs. I think that's what it is. I did not know that they existed. I didn't know what they were, but, and here's a few things that I'm also going to add. My favorite numbers, a little bit of Amazon packing paper that I've probably already used a little bit of, and I also have some pattern paper, sewing pattern paper. And I might grab some other things as well, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you what inspired these colors and all of that. So yesterday we went, oh, wait a minute, let me get back to the ACEOs. Basically, those are the same thing as ATCs, or artist trading cards, and they're the same thing, but they're meant to be sold. So artist trading cards are cards that you trade with other artists, and ACEOs, and I might have that wrong. I'm going to double check and be sure. Let's see. They're artist cards. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description. Anyway, same thing as artist trading cards, but they're meant to be sold. They're 2.5 by 5.5. No, sorry. They're 2.5 by 3.5. And you put them in baseball card sleeves or card protector sleeves, and you sell them. So I really wanted to put some of my ATC cards in my painted tree booth, and now I know I can. It's just called something else. So these will be cut up into 2.5 by 3.5 squares and sold in my store and on my website. Okay, let's see if this paint's going to come out. So if you didn't see yesterday's video, I will link it. Oh, okay. I ruined another shirt. I will put it in the description. All right, we're going to use it anyway because this paint is old. Yeah, it's from the artist studio that I got a few months ago. And I will put that in the description below as well if you haven't seen that. But in this case, with these types of projects, it doesn't matter because it's just a little thick, and usually, like with that one, as I brushed it, it just broke right up. And if you have little pieces like that, you can just brush them off when they dry. So a good way to use your paint that is not really good anymore for larger projects or projects that you really need the paint to be good. Okay, so already I'm not liking it. Are we going to have a repeat of last week? I hope not. I'm going to cover most of this up anyway, and most of it's going to be lighter because I'm definitely going to put a cream color in here too. I've already decided that's the color I'm going to add. So let me just get some color on here, and then I'll go back and go over it, and I want to brighten up that red too. I had such a hard time last week with my masterboard. It was horrible, but I think it came out really nice. Thursday's video, I had the same masterboard. I did add to it a little bit in the beginning of the video. And then let's add some of this gold and see. That'll tone down some of this brown. Oh, I'm almost out of gold. No. Okay, that's silver up there, so I'm not going to touch that. Well, let's do a little together. And then I have a paper towel here that I'm just wiping off a little excess. Oh, I love that gold with the green. Okay, we're going to add a lot of gold, even though I don't have a lot left. All right, that's pretty. And I'm not even going to mess around with all this. Oh, that's pretty. See? It's working out. Oh, I forget what I was saying before. With the masterboard from last Monday for Thursday's video, I cut it up at the end of Monday's video, and then Thursday I decided to tape it back together and see if I couldn't get some more detail and collage in it, and it worked. I ended up doing portraits on top, and if you're interested in seeing those, you can go back and watch Thursday's video. So I'm going to call it quits on the paint. Well, I'm going to go back and put some red on top of that because I do want some red in there, because there's strawberries in that little mushroom print, and this red didn't come out so bright. So if you're wondering, and I think that this is the typical weight paper for ACEOs. I'm using Canson watercolor, 140 pound. What does it say? Is it cold press? I'm not sure. But it's this. So we'll do that. And then let's do a little more red. Oh, that's a lot of red. That's a lot of red. I want to get some on here, down in here. And now when I do my cards, since they're 2.5 by 3.5, there's not going to be, this is going to be a big open space. And instead of trying to think about it right now, I'm going to leave it. I can add tissue and collage over that later if it's too boring. Because I think what I did last week is just overworked the whole thing. Just tried to do too much. So there, quick and easy, done. Not going to touch it. Am I going to touch it? I think I'm going to touch it. Hold on. I just not going to do much. I'm just going to go back and add a couple of little well, maybe I'm not going to. Maybe this is a sign that there needs to be a little, we'll just add a little there. And I really think that's kind of it. I didn't get a lot of silver in there. And I think I'm going to leave it like that, just with these few touches of silver. Because again, I don't want to do too much. And I'm going to leave it just messy, and we're going to go the opposite direction this week. There. Okay, stop. Now I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to come back and do some collage on top of it. Okay, I've started tearing just a few pieces of interesting stuff, and because it keeps me from trying too hard, they're already cut down, torn down into some smaller pieces. And I'm going to take my matte Mod Podge, which I usually use for the first part. I added a little water because it's starting to get a little thick. But I just keep matte Mod Podge in here, and, you know, it'll get kind of, you have to clean it out a little bit sometimes, but that's okay. And then I keep a towel or a washcloth or something on the side so that I can lay my pieces that I'm gluing down on here and give it a light spray. Now when I mist tissues and papers for collage, I like to use this one because it's such a fine mist. So you give it a mist before you glue it down, and that keeps it from wrinkling too much. I don't know why I have gray in here on this brush, but guess what? We're going with it. I had a little gray in there, I guess, from before, so I am going to clean it off a little. Because while I want a little gray in here, I don't want this much. See, I don't like that. But it's already on there. And you just start tearing pieces off and gluing them down. I'm really going to try not to even pay attention to where I'm, you can, to where I'm gluing these down. I'm going to take some of that gray off there. All right, I'm not too worried about it, I guess. It's bothering me a little bit, but I'm just going to ignore it. Yeah, this week I'm just going to do what I normally do instead of trying to figure out where everything's going to go. I still have gray in this brush. I don't know where it came from. Well, maybe it's there for a reason. So yesterday was fun on the boat with my grandchildren, and I posted on my playlist brush strokes and backstories, just because when I like having a memories of things that I do and my grandkids as they grow up. So I wanted that, and I thought it would be nice to just kind of go over how I get inspiration when I'm not in the art room, because while I would love to be in the art room all the time, you just can't be, and you can get burnt out. And that's one thing that we do in our family, because we live in Fort Lauderdale. It's so beautiful. We love to take a ride and go to the beach and get some sun and some fresh air. Although I got way too much sun yesterday. I'm so sunburned, which doesn't usually happen to me because I'm so used to being out in the sun, but we've had some kind of yucky weather and we've been busy and haven't been on the boat much lately. So the holiday season, there's so much going on and I haven't had a lot of sun, so now I do. The good thing about living in Florida is your skin gets used to it. And even if I got a little burned yesterday, I'll only be a little red for a few days, a couple days. By tomorrow, it'll be brown, which is good because I'm very light skin. But my skin's learned to take sun very well. And I think sun is healing. I don't use sunscreen. I try and build up my layers of sun. Instead of getting sunburned, I like to start out slow and let my skin get used to it. I just spent a little too much time directly in the sun. My grandchildren have a little more olive skin than I do. And they all look so beautiful and sun-kissed this morning. Okay, let me add some more numbers. I love these numbers, especially in small cards. They come out really cool. Most of them will be covered up, but ooh, this one is smearing a little bit. No worries. Let's add some more mushrooms now. I want lots of mushrooms. So I don't want a whole 2.5 by 5.5. No, 2.5 by 3.5. I don't want the whole thing to be all mushrooms, so I'm gonna make thinner strips. And in some of these, I did another series with mushrooms with this tissue paper when I first got it, and I used the dimensional paint, the stuff, on just the mushroom caps, and it came out really cool. But I think I want to do the stems as well, and I might do that in this project on Thursday. So I'll make the masterboard today, and then Thursday, maybe. I'm also considering, okay, here's where you can help me out. Do you want to see where this masterboard goes on Thursday? Or do you want to see another video on how I create my handmade stencils? Because that's been a really popular video lately. And I need to create a couple of stencils anyway, so either way, I'm going to show both. But I'd love to know what you're interested in seeing. Okay, I'm about done with this part. We're moving quick today. I'm not saying that, I'm convincing myself, because I said that a few times last time too, and I ended up having an 1.5-hour video. But today we have a friend's birthday party to go to, and I need to go get in the shower and get ready. It's Sunday, and then I want to come back later and finish this up and schedule it to post so that you can see it first thing on Monday, or, you know, it's there for you when you get home tomorrow. Tuesday tip is already scheduled, I believe 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and there's a really great tip on there. You know what? I want to do some numbers here instead. I don't want that whole corner to be, we'll just lay it on top of everything. And we'll put you up here. I love this, so I think I might let this dry, hit it with a little gesso. I want a little bit more lines in here from that. Hit it with a little gesso, and then this is cool. Where was I going to put that? Let's put it there. And then I didn't do this on last Monday's video, but I think I will this week. Just come in and paint some little stems and leaves and stuff. What I love about this, the sewing pattern paper, is that you could still see everything underneath. That is what works best with these kind of projects with masterboards, when you can see layers and layers and layers. And now that I'm saying that, I think I might overlap some of these numbers, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to go let this dry, but I'm going to overlap some of these numbers because I don't want quite so much white in here. I thought I had another one. Well, I just found another spot here. Oh, this one's cool. Okay. So my area, fortunately, you don't get to see everything, and I'm sure this is true for a lot of people. By the time I'm done, you can't see the countertop. I'm going to put this over here because it smeared a little bit, which is fine. There. Okay, there we go. I'll be right back when this dries. Okay, I'm going to take my gesso before I think I do want to put some flowers in there, some stems, the leaves. And I'm just going to go in on a few of these on the edges. I want that letter to kind of, that number to show through a little bit. And just put a little in there. Where some of these pieces are, the edges are. I'm not going to add too much this time. Just a little. So when I cut these apart, you'll have some lighter areas, and that's where I can kind of glue stuff on top of it. And I'm going to take my stencil brush and just kind of smooth it out. That way you can still see stuff underneath. You still see the color, still see anything that's glued underneath. And you won't see those brush strokes as much. The key is to stay light-handed, and I'm not telling you that, I'm telling myself. Somebody's trying to get into my art room. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to come back in with my brush, my smaller brush, and I put a little brown, a little of that brown, the silver, and some of that green. And I'm just going to load my brush. While I was recording the last part, my phone ran out of storage. So what I was doing was loading up my brush with some green and some of the silver to kind of tone the brightness down. And I have a little bit of brown on here as well. And I'm just going to go in and, I don't know, it's very scary to, it's very scary to start this. And I think I've got too much water on my brush, but let's see. Yep. Hold on. Let me try and load this again. Green, a little gray, and a touch of brown. Let's just smooth that in. See how forgiving these things are? All right, we'll start here. And I just go in, and it's still a little wet, but maybe we'll get kind of a watercolor effect here. I'm going to use a little brown and green and just create a little stem. I'm not worried about what's underneath. I'm not even looking, really. Let's do one this way. Love doing these. So what I was saying before, and I don't think I covered this yet. Now I can't remember, so I might be telling you this twice. But yesterday when we were on the boat, which is the topic of yesterday's video, oh, I did that backwards. Okay. Well, how am I going to fix that? Well, you know what? What's cool about this is you don't always have to fix everything. There. Now it's going in the right direction. So yesterday, a little bit of a break on the boat with the grandkids, I talked about finding inspiration outside of the art room. And while we were on the boat and around all of my beautiful favorite colors, the aquas and the greens and turquoise, it's winter. It was 80-something degrees out yesterday, and most of the people in the country are under snow right now. So I just didn't want to do a summary masterboard. But at the end of the video, I showed you where we go back in a different direction, and it's very almost untouched down Dania Cutoff near where I live. And the smells are just amazing. The rotting wood and the leaves and the what do you call it? The moss. And well, in some areas it's not so nice because it's the rotting cypress trees. So when there's low tide and all of that is exposed, it's not also always great. But it wasn't. It was around high tide when we went through there, and it smelled so beautiful, and it smelled like fall. So I thought about this tissue paper that I have I got it from Amazon. Again, I think I already told you that, but I'll tell you again. I'm 55, so I'm probably going to tell you several things several times. But I thought that would be a great opportunity to use that paper. And I've been wanting to do a mushroom. I love mushrooms. I love eating mushrooms. I love looking at mushrooms. They're so cute and very kind of, I don't do a lot of fairy forest kind of artwork, but I do love it. And so whenever I find something fun like this, I'll use it. Okay. I think we need a little up here. And you see, to make these leaves, I'm just dragging them, pushing my brush down. I'm not a master at painting like this, but so as I was talking, I lost my phone again. My storage filled up. So I'm just going to put, ooh, I don't mind that. I'm going to put a little bit more paint on here and do a couple of, oh, that's too much. I'm trying to hurry and my brush is too wet. I'm just going to put a few more leaves in here. Not going to worry about it. And then we're going to let this dry. And I said I'm going to cut them in 2.5 by 3.5 squares before. They're not squares. We all know they're rectangles. And again, 53. I'm starting to lose it a little bit, I think. I know, 53 is too young to lose my mind, but I think mine's more of a you've got too many things going on kind of thing. So when I say silly things, don't mind me. Okay, I'm going to go to my birthday party for my friend while this dries, and I will come back and do the next layer later tonight. And then hopefully finish this up so tomorrow morning, again, it'll be complete and ready to load for Masterboard Monday. I'll have to finish it tomorrow, so it will actually be a Monday project. I'm going to add a little green in here. All right, I know it looks chaotic and crazy, but when you see the final product, you'll hopefully be surprised. And I'm not going to overwork it this time, so I'm going to drop my paintbrush and walk away. Okay, so I have my cutter here. Is this a guillotine? Yeah. And I'm gonna cut these at 3.5. So this will be, it'll go this way, long ways. Long ways. That would be the long side. And then when I do it this way, these will all be 2.5. So then the first card will look kind of like that. Or like that. Or however I put them. So that's the first one. So let me cut these 3.5 inches first. And you can do more on your masterboard, do different things, work longer on them than I did. But I like to stop at a certain point, which clearly I have a problem with. But then I like to work on them individually. So this is just a good way to get your background started. Oh, I don't think that I cut. Okay, so here's what happens. If you're trying to record a video and cut at the same time, sometimes you don't cut it straight. So this may end up being, let's see. Yeah, see, this is only about 3. No worries, because now I'm going to flip it around to this side where it's straight, and we're going to fix that. So I'm going to have 2 of these strips that might end up being bookmarks. So no worries, you can use your mistakes in bookmarks, tags for your journals. Just keep going. So this one is, yeah, this one's good. Okay, I'm gonna go again from that edge and do another 3.5, and I'll end up with that little piece that I messed up. Okay, jumping into the future. Bear with me, this is only my second Masterboard Monday, and I'm having a terrible time with storage on my phone. So I'll figure that situation out. But in the meantime, I continued to cut the cards, the 2.5 by 3.5, and they're the same size as a playing card. So I just kind of check them this way. And that's about right. They'll fit in the protective card sleeves. But let me show you. And as terrible, I know probably when I look back, I think this looks terrible. Who's going to watch this? But look how cool these turn out when you cut them. So now I'm going to finish them off by using stamps and stickers. And so these are just the backgrounds, and they just turn out very interesting. And you get these cool lines and numbers in the background. I'll probably cut, there's that, the sewing pattern, the numbers in the background, and a little bit of the painted stem with the leaves that I painted on there. There's another one. And see, I love the green area right there. So I could put some mushrooms here, and that would be a cool background with that green. I love this, the red fading into the green. And some of these, some of them don't turn out the way that you want them to, but then your next layer is going to be covering up the spots that you don't love. I love that. And I love this. This one is really cool. And how ugly was it in the beginning? This kind of gives me some music vibes here. I should put some music on some of them. Some notes. So that's how you get these cool backgrounds. And then I cut them as many as I could. And then I still have maybe a belly band for a journal. And look how cool that is. And then I have, this is the piece that I cut that I cut not straight, but there's some sewing patterns in there. And I can cut these up and make tags. So these didn't come out exactly 2.5 by 3.5. So I'll use these and create tags for my journals or tags to give away. And there you go. If you want to see these completed, I can either do it this Thursday for the main video, or I can do it next week and do a new stencil video, or maybe I'll combine the two. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm still learning how to set my camera and save my videos and get them off my phone and create storage. This was a struggle with the storage issue, because when you end up filling up your phone, it stops the video and tells you to manage your storage. So I need to clear my phone off and figure out a better way of doing things. But I will. I'm making progress and learning new things with every video. So in the meantime, I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday tips. It's a good one. And I will see you Thursday for Thursday's, the main project of the week on Thursday. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.